All right, welcome back to another new episode of the Sports Lounge here on WFRV Plus. I'm Adam Ingles, and with me, Sean Kornuski. How you doing, Sean?
Sean Kornuski. We should be saying Happy New Year because by the time this
That's
airs,
true.
this is going to be the day after
So
Christmas.
hopefully you get your Christmas presents. What's on the wish list for you this year?
A quiet
Yeah,
Christmas,
that's kind of
quiet
what I'm
holiday,
thinking
less
too.
in-laws. Hopefully they're not watching this.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it. So today we're going to be talking high school hoops with two people at the center of one of the area's premier programs, Kaukauna High School. Joining us, head coach Ryan Bowers, someone who knows the program inside and out. From his playing days to years on the coaching staff, Coach Bowers now leads a team built on tradition, discipline, and community pride. And alongside him is Andrew Jensen, one of the leaders on this year's team, one of the best players in the state, who's helped set the tone on the court and has been a big part of Kaukauna success this season. So we'll talk through this year's challenges and what to expect from Kaukauna this year. So, Coach Bowers and Andrew, thanks for coming into the Sports Lounge, and how you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for having
Yeah,
us.
of course. Speaking of Christmas, what's on Coach's wish list for Christmas this year?
Definitely family time.
Yeah.
It's a busy time of year for us. And so anytime you get a little time away to be able to spend with your family is always a good thing.
Absolutely. Andrew, what about you? What's on the wish list for you?
Just some Legos.
Legos?
Legos.
Awesome.
Yeah, you got like Star Wars, or what do you like the best?
Like any sort of like Lego car.
Anything. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice. Well, yeah, you got a lot to get ready for. Right when you come back from the holidays, we got Marquette.
Yeah,
so
those
that's
should be
gonna be
tough
a
matchups.
good matchup right there. So nothing that you're not ready for, right?
Yeah.
Great. All right, Coach, let's start with you. I know I read something that you said Kaukauna is your dream job to be the head boys basketball coach there. Just, growing up there, going to school there, coaching there, what is it about the community, the school, and the teams that you've coached that makes Kaukauna a dream job for you?
Well, it's home. I mean, at the end of the day, we all have a home. And, going to college and get my first job and teaching in Wrightstown is a wonderful place to be. But at the end of the day, the people that help you get to where you are, the opportunity to come back and give back to those that help you get there is an important thing to me. And I'm just really grateful for that to happen. And it's been a lot of fun. So really
Yeah.
happy about it.
So I wanted to talk about kind of the growth of the program over the last few years. I know you've been really competitive. You're in a great conference. So just kind of day in day out, what goes into the teaching of the kids to advance Kaukauna to the levels that you want to get there?
At the end of the day, it's just being present where your feet are that day. You can't get too far ahead of yourself. So, we practiced earlier today. We practiced yesterday. It's, not looking too far ahead. Can we stay where our feet are, be the best we can today? And if we stack those days, by the end of the season, hopefully we're playing our best basketball and good things can happen at that point.
Yeah, what do you value the most when you evaluate like a player like Andrew? In most of your players, like what do you beyond say points, stats, highlights?
Well, character is a big thing. So, who are you away from the court in the classroom? Are you a leader for the teachers? Are you making their job a lot easier in the classroom? And then even that in the community, what are you going to give back into the community that way? Because we get a lot of great support in Kaukauna, and so you're easily recognizable as a player in our program. And so when you're in those areas outside the court, off the court, are you doing the right things? Are you making the right decisions? Are you being an attribute? Are you being a positive citizen to our city? And fortunately for us, we have a lot of kids that do those things, and we're really grateful for that.
That's great. What kind of community programs do you get the boys involved in?
Well, we've done a number of things. Just this past year, we decided to adopt a family as a program, and so the boys all went out shopping together and bought the gifts for the families, and we got that done just before Thanksgiving. We did that as a group. So
That's
cool.
great. You hear a lot of college programs doing stuff like that, but when it comes to high school, getting them started with that humility at a younger age, I think that's very important.
Andrew,
Values.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's just more to this than the actual win-loss column. There's more to this. At the end of the day, when our kids graduate our program, it's our thought is that they are going to be grateful that they are part of something bigger than themselves, and then that they're going to be great husbands, fathers, future leaders, and whatever it may be in their life. And so that's what we're trying to grow them to be.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Andrew, what have you learned, and you're a senior this year, but back from freshman year to now, what have you learned from Coach Bowers that has made you a better man and a better basketball player?
I think part of it, you already said, just like the humility piece, being part of something bigger than yourself, and then hard work, on and off the court. in school, and everything that I do, working as hard as I can, be as best as I can.
That's great. So as on the court, doing a lot of great stuff off the court. On the court, what is the identity of Kakana boys basketball?
Well, right now, I mean, at the end of the day, with this group, it's that they get along so well. Like they are well connected. They enjoy being around each other, and you can see that on the floor. We've got 5 kids averaging double figures, really close. We got one at 9.7, but I mean, the willingness to share the ball, and nobody really worries about the idea of like whose night it's going to be. It's based on how we're being defended that night and take advantage of those situations. How connected they are defensively and making teams have to score through 5 rather than getting easy ones in transition. I think that's been a big reason why we've been successful to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Andrew, what's it like, playing for Coach Bowers, and what kind of values do you really take in from Coach Bowers? This is your time to suck up.
Well, I was gonna say, he gets really intense, but it's all for a good reason. I never think of it as yelling. It's just a raised voice to try to pull something out of you that he knows is there. So I think he does a really good job making everyone as best as they can be, and if you're not there, he's gonna do whatever he can to pull it out of you. So I think he does a really good job with that.
Let's talk about that intensity.
Yeah.
I see pictures of you on the sidelines. You're super passionate about what you do, and it shows. Is that a coach thing, or is that who you are as a person? Are you that intense all the time?
I mean, you get me up north, I'm not that guy. But down here in the valley, when we step across the lines, man, everybody invests so much time into this thing, and kind of like Andrew said, I mean, the excitement, like I know that there's more there, and if I'm not seeing that, I'm gonna make sure that, hey, let's go. I'm gonna help you get there, and I care about these guys a lot, and I want to see them to be the best they can be, and just not gonna leave anything out to for chance, and just make sure that we're engaged and we're in our moment, and we're where our feet are, and we're gonna play as hard as we possibly can, and good things are gonna happen that way.
And I'm sure, Andrew, you feel that from Coach, right? You and your teammates feel the care and the love that he has for you guys and helping you develop.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's there all the time. Every single time that he, raises his voice to pull something out of you, he's gonna pat you on the back and say, you did it, good job. I think it's always, constructive criticism. It's always positive and always has a good reason for it.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to talk a little bit when we come back from break with Coach about not so much a team this year, but what you're doing to kind of bridge the gap with the middle schoolers and get them ready at a younger age to be ready to go state bound. And we'll talk a little bit about that when we come back. Gesture, because I hate looking back here at me. All right, we are back to the Sports Lounge. We've got our guests, head coach Ryan Bowers of the Kakana Ghosts with us today, and Andrew Jensen of the Kakana Ghosts. Great to have you guys with us. We talked a little bit about bridging the gap, I guess you could say, Coach, with younger kids. What are you doing at, say, like your summer camps, at your younger levels, getting them ready for high school? Because I know, like Andrew came from Ashwaubenon, but I know that you're working with a lot of younger individuals right now. So what are you doing to kind of bridge that gap to get them ready?
We do a lot, and the reason why we do a lot is because we know that that's our future, and so. Knowing that we gotta be conscious of trying to help them grow their game and grow their love for the game. They want to continue to play and get better, so that when they reach high school, that they're going to play at a level that's the level that we expect them to be at. And so in June we have summer school. Kids come in Monday through Friday. We work with all the way down from second grade all the way up through 8th grade. We have it structured in a way where we meet kids where they're at and try to grow their skill set and challenge them. In the month of June and the month of July, we have what's called a Dog Days Camp, and that's the middle 2 weeks of July. We'll do that. And in August, we do a shooting academy where we really break down shot form and trying to help them, because then all of a sudden after August, they got September, October on their own. And then we get to the end of October, end of September, I should say, we're already doing Hoops Club evaluations and making teams and getting coaches. And we're really fortunate that we have a number of people in our community that want to give back, put extra time in, work with those kids. We do coaches clinics to get them on page with what we want to see done at practices. We'll swing into practices as a coaching staff. We created what's called our Ghost League, which is like really little ones, second and third. So rather than having our kids run out to the YMCA, we keep them in house in Kaukauna. They play 3 games every other Saturday. They practice twice a week, and we keep them in smaller teams of 7 or 8, so that there's a lot of playing time there. That's how you grow, is through playing time. But then the other things, when the season starts, we try to incorporate them within our high school program and bridge that gap by, we have what's called our Hoops Club section. So every one of our Hoops Club kids, if they wear their jersey to our game, they get in for free. Well, they don't get in for free. Our Hoops Club actually sponsors that and pays that back to the district. We provide free pizza for them through our Hoops Club at every halftime of a home game. At halftime, we do the hot shot contest where they fill out names and get them excited to get out there for layups, free throws, threes, half court contest. And then every game, we have one of our grades and travel teams. They come in and they're part of what we call chalk talk. So they get to sit in the back of the room when we do our pregame talk with our varsity team before they hit the floor. So they get to see what that looks like behind the scenes. And so doing all those things creates a buzz and builds a buzz within the kids. And they look at these guys like Andrew and Jonah and other guys on the floor, and they say, I want to be there too. And they get excited about it. And by doing those things, we feel like, hey, they're willing maybe to put some extra time in when nobody's watching. So then when it's their turn to be on that floor, they're ready to roll.
Sure.
Yeah.
And when you're teaching young, because I coach 7th grade football, and so I know that getting things to stick is sometimes hard at those ages.
Yeah.
So when you start going over plays, when you start getting those common mannerisms kind of embedded into their psyche, do you kind of keep that repetition kind of with some of the things that you teach them going right into early high school?
I'll be honest with you, like we call it daily vitamins. Like our varsity, our high school program, every single day, we're doing ball wrap, square V, 2-ball combo, 1-ball combos, things like that every day. It's 5-6 minutes just to keep that intact there. But with our younger kids, when you talk about plays and things like that, our whole mission is we want to skill is king. So we want to build as much skill within our kids. We don't worry about plays and sets as much as we do just getting them into practice and working on their handles and working on finishing at the rim and working on catching and shooting a basketball and spending time that way. Because at the end of the day, they only practice twice a week in our hoops club because of gym space. And so when we get them in a gym, not every kid's got the ability to maybe go get in a gym other days than that. So we got to maximize our 90 minutes with them, and we got to build skill. And then if they have the skill and they have the ability to go play, well, by the time they get to us, we can take care of the X's and O's part.
That's great. That's a great philosophy. Yeah. Thank you, Coach.
Andrew, I want to talk a little bit about your development as a player. So you're listed at 6'9", and you're every bit of 6'9". Was there a growth spurt that, were you at, 5'11" and then all of a sudden jumped up, or have you always been pretty tall?
I mean, I was always really tall. My biggest growth spurt was in 6th grade. I mean, I was already tall. I was 6 foot at the beginning of the year. By the end of 6th grade, I was 6'5", so that was a 5-inch gap in the school year. But I mean, like I said, I was already 6 foot at the beginning, so I was always tall from when I was a kid.
Yeah. So you've always been in the post kind of positionally.
Yeah.
So as your D1 commit, as you work through your senior year, what are the things that you need to get better on to kind of advance your career moving into college?
I think one of the big things is my body. I gotta be a lot stronger than I am right now. So, as soon as the season ends, I'm gonna be hitting the weight room really hard. Right now we lift twice a week as a team, so getting 2 lifts in there. But then, I'm gonna have to hit the weight room right away, eat more, which is something that I'll do as soon as I get down to DePaul. But so just my body is one, and then just the other skills. I think all of the skills, shooting, dribbling, post moves, everything, just needs to, be up another level because I'm going up another level.
Absolutely. As a recruit, I'm sure there's a target on your back a lot of games, and people are focusing a lot of defensive attention on you. But I would imagine that, your leadership to get your other players involved is huge. So what have you learned from Coach, and what have you kind of learned on your own in terms of leadership? Are you a vocal leader? Are you leading by example? What's your kind of philosophy on leadership?
Kind of a I would say a mix of all of them. Being a vocal leader, someone has to have a voice in the team. So I kind of took that upon myself, and then also leadership by example. Trying to show people how to do things the right way, and then I also like to pull people off to the side as well, and just give quick tips, pointers, some things that I've learned over the years. So I kind of mix it all, and I guess just try to help people with the things that I learned.
That's good. That's good. And that's very relatable to what, Preston Rudiger was saying to Marcus Hall. With him being a junior, he's going to carry the voice. And Marcus Hall said, I've never really had a voice. So this year he started kind of carrying that. So, that's an important thing too, to kind of carry into your juniors and your underclassmen that you're playing with, to pass on that leadership to them, so that next year Coach Bowers doesn't have to reinvent the wheel.
That'd be awesome.
Coach, what have you seen in Andrew's development over the last few years to get him to where he is at today?
Well, he's naturally gotten stronger through the 4 years with us. His face-up game has gotten better since his freshman year for sure. He's going to need that when he goes to DePaul, because playing with his back to the basket. He's really good. Obviously, we're a ball screen dominant team, so he's really good about playing out of get actions. He's really good about reading on the keeps and things like that, and being able to get off screens and play in space. But just continuing to grow his game on his face-up, his perimeter three, things like that will bode well for him going down the road.
Great. All right, I think that'll lead us into our last break here on the Sports Lounge. We'll be back after this talking more Kaukauna Ghost basketball. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to our last segment on the Sports Lounge. We're here with Coach Ryan Bowers and Andrew Jensen from Kaukauna Boys Basketball. Coach, you're off to a really strong start this year, 6-0, I believe, is the updated record. And you're in a really, really tough conference. So just want to talk about, the rivalries that you have, the day-to-day grind of these battles, because that's really what they are. So just talk a little bit about the competitiveness of the conference and kind of what you expect from your team this year in conference play.
Well, having played myself in the league and then coaching in it for so long, that's what makes it fun. The FVA, if you are not prepared, or if you think you don't need to put as much time in the film on any particular game, you will get bumped. It's going to happen. So you got to respect the game. I know that for sure. And I know our kids know that. And so we're really fortunate that way. But it's a blast to play in a league that's so competitive. And I'm just happy that we've got a bunch of kids on our team that understand that and are willing to compete hard every single day.
Like we mentioned, a lot of attention to Andrew here, but you obviously have a full roster of capable athletes on your team. So I just want to give you a chance to talk about, your guard play, other forwards, your bench. Yeah. What makes those guys special as well?
Well, start with Jonah Rohrig. He's a senior, and Jonah's been incredible this year. His floor game's been outstanding. He's taken over the point guard position primarily, and he's like about a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio right now. Coming in as a freshman, Jonah was more seen as a catch and shoot type kid on the perimeter, stretching the floor, and really good at that. But we're really proud of the way that he's evolved his game, and he's able to score at all three levels and see the floor well. He brings a calming demeanor to the group, and really looking forward to that presence, staying there and staying positive that way. So that's good. Another one would be Tyler Schwalbach. He's a sophomore. He played valuable minutes as a freshman last year for us off the bench. Last year we had him guard, our team's best player, so that tells you about his athletic ability and how explosive he can be. His role is much bigger this year, and he's done a really good job with that. And so with those three guys right there, with Andrew, Jonah, and Tyler, that's a pretty good threesome. And then just surrounding some of our guys around those three to help them be successful and keep the floor space has been important. And a big contributor that way has been Josh Carl. He's been really incredible to start this season. I know he's shooting in the upper 40s from the three. He's added more to his game than just catch and shoot. He's putting the ball on the deck. He's making great plays off the bounce. He's defending really well. And so just, those four guys right there have done a really nice job for us. Kavanaugh Weinberg is another senior that starts for us. And I call him a winner. I mean, he does all the things that don't show up in the box score that helps us win basketball games. His his energy level, his toughness, his grit. I think that spreads through our team, and so he's very valuable that way. And just really happy and fortunate to have those 5 guys as our starting group.
Those are my favorite type of guys, the grit guys, the
Yeah.
energy guys, the glue
Yep.
guys. Andrew,
Yeah.
your teammates, how close are you with them? How much do they help you get better?
I think this group is probably the most connected group that I've been, through my, 4 years of high school. Like in previous years, we've had like little kind of cliques of guys, and then we all kind of come together as a team, but it's not like the same fit. Whereas this year feels like it's like we're one like true full team, and like no side groups. Everyone has like their friends, but like, I guess in a way, like it feels like everyone's just super, super connected, and they do a really good job pushing me. I think they know how good I am, so if I'm ever not playing to that level, they're not scared to tell me, which is something good and something that I need.
Coach, what are you seeing this year compared to other teams that you've had? What's the difference in this team compared to other really successful teams that you've had?
I think we've got really good players this year, but I mean, if I have to be specific, I think in years past we've typically had a guy that could just go get his. I can just Keegan's not too far away. He's at GB right now, and if we needed a bucket, Keegan can go do it. I think Keegan was one of our best scorers of all time ever come through the program, and I think this year I think the group has recognized that they need each other to be able to manufacture points and share the ball and how it plays that way, and I think there's to what Andrew's saying in terms of the connectiveness of the team is they recognize that they need each other to be successful. And so they've, adhered to that. And I think that's why we're having the success early that we're having.
So as you look forward to progressing through the season, are there a series of goals that you want to achieve? Is there one overarching goal that kind of drives your vision?
Listen, this is the cliche, but it's the truth. If you can get your group to stay as current and focused on just today, because the minute you start looking ahead, like I mean, I can right now, gosh, we got Marquette next Tuesday. The following Tuesday, we got to go to Nina, and then we got to go to Kimberly the next Friday. You start doing that to yourself. I mean, now you're spinning, right? So just stay focused, stay present, stay where your feet are, and let's just be really, really good today. And if we can do that, then good things will happen as we go forward.
And sometimes that's really hard to do. It's hard to do as far as keeping your grit and keeping your competitive nature. When we talk a little bit about our fans and our community that backs us and is traditionally the glue to our team, how important is that to both? I'll ask Andrew. I'll ask you first. How important are your fans and your classmates that come to back you, and how much does that really mean to you to make yourself better and better?
It means a lot. The more people that are there, it just shows that more people will care. So, more people that are at the games, shows that I'm doing something right, on and off the court. Because people also wouldn't go, if they didn't like you off the court anyway. So it shows that we're doing a good job collectively, working hard in practice and then being good people off the court. So it really shows that we have the full support of the community.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Coach.
Yeah, I think Andrew hit the nail on the head there. At the end of the day, it's people want to support good people, and so we talk about that with our guys, and within our core values and what your character, what your makeup is, how you treat people away from the floor in the classroom, how do you treat your parents at home? Are you somebody who's willing to help out and give a hand without being asked, or are you having to have your arm pulled to go do something? So recognizing those things, and so when people respect you for who you are away from the floor, and then you work really hard on the floor and you have some success and they come out and support you, it means even that much more.
Absolutely.
Andrew, as a 17, 18-year-old kid, I'm sure you're not thinking about legacy too much, but what's the impact that you want to leave behind at Kaukauna when people think of you 10 years down the line?
I mean, I think, I want people to remember me as, someone who really worked hard. I guess, again, on and off the court, basketball, I want to make people proud, to say, I live in Kaukauna, Kaukauna, that's my team. So that's the on the court part of it. And then off the court, I want to be known as someone who worked hard in school, someone who's humble, kind, respectful. I want to have like a good sound to my name when people mention it.
And Coach, same question to you. What's kind of the legacy that you want to be remembered for in Kaukauna?
For me personally,
Yeah, for you personally.
I just somebody who's gonna go to at bat for anybody and help them out and support them any way that I possibly can, and that's really what this life's about, right? So giving back to those and trying to make other people's lives easier.
Perfect.
Right.
John, I know you had one question about upcoming matchups and who are they looking forward to playing, the rivalry games?
I mean, we don't really have to go into that too much, Wisconsin and Lutheran. But I mean, they're seen as kind of a state contender, so getting prepared for them. I know we've gone over this already. I believe, like you said, you have to go game to game. So when you fluster yourself too much and you have too much in between, that's what just drives you crazy. And being a football coach, I know that.
Yeah.
You know that's one thing. We did not want to fluster ourselves before we got to Notre Dame, and we ended up beating Notre Dame. So that was good, and it was because we just got rid of all that clutter. But I want to go into like a quick before we end the show. Just a quick, flash question to ask both of you. First off, Andrew, this season, we've had a couple games already, or you can relate it to last season. Who might have gotten you out of a jam this season in the heat of the moment in a game, and how did that happen?
And it could be coach too. He might have bailed
could be
you out of
coach,
the
yeah,
situation.
I think about it. I guess going back to last year, we were playing at Mozini, and go started laughing. Yeah, there was a call that didn't go our way, and I was kind of in my head about it, and Coach Bowers, Coach Van Wettering, and Coach Al kind of pulled him inside and said, "You're fine." It was right before halftime, so they just said, just sit the rest of the half, and then I came back and played the rest of the game, and we won. But I was a little, I guess I wouldn't say heated, but kind of confused and upset because it didn't go our way. But they kind of calmed me down and kind of got me out of a mental gym, I guess, in a way.
And Coach, because we're running a little short on time, I'm going to transition this to a different question. What is the best moment so far this season for you?
Just watching the growth. I mean, they're a lot of fun to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of joy to go to practice every single day.
Right.
Like, they're a great group of kids. Andrew talked about it. I've mentioned it already. They're connected. It doesn't matter if you're Andrew getting the most minutes in the floor, or if you're one of our, player number 15, who's our scout guy, working really hard. Kids are having a lot of fun. We just checked in with everybody in the last couple of days on where they're at, and it's been really good. So.
All right, well, that should wrap it up. I want to thank Coach Bowers and Andrew for joining us here on the Sports Lounge. Everybody, make sure you go out and watch Kaukauna play. They're an exciting team, a really good team. They'll be, they'll have a lot of tough battles, but I'm sure they'll persevere, and hopefully they'll get to the promised land in Madison at the end of the year, and maybe we'll have you back to talk about that. So for Sean, I'm Adam Ingles. This is the Sports Lounge. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
There we go.